Now that I've finished making all 5 of my puzzle cube toy parts, it's time to put them together into the actual cube. So here you can see 2 of my puzzle cube parts that I've made from Lincoln Cubes from my prototype, and over here you can see the ones that I made in Tinkercad. My puzzle cube starts going together by this piece fitting side by side with this piece. In Tinkercad you can see those 2 pieces, but this one was designed laying down flat. So in order to correctly assemble that into my cube, what I need to do is rotate this part. An easy way to do that is to use my view cube to look at it from the side. And I'll zoom in a little bit so I can see this better. And what I want to do is click on this part and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. I can try to drag my mouse around, or I can just type in that number 90 and hit enter or return on your keyboard. If I go back to my home view, you can see that that puzzle part is now turned just like the one that I have in real life. Now what I need to do is move that part into place, and if I come back to my home view, I can check to see if those things are correct. Maybe I want to go to my top view, and maybe I want to go to one of my other views in here as well, like my right view, to check to see that those look good. Once those parts are assembled, I can put in the next part of my puzzle cube. For my cube, the next part is this brown part that sits in the middle there. So that's this part here, and in order to assemble it, I'm going to need to rotate this one in Tinkercad by 90 degrees around this axis. So I'm going to come down and find that double arrow, I'll drag it around, and again I can try and drag it, or I can just click and type in 90, hit enter or return on my keyboard, and it will rotate it. That doesn't look quite right, so it looks like I need to keep rotating it some more. It looks like on this one I actually need to rotate it 180 degrees to get it in the right spot. Now I'm not sure why that just turned transparent. Whoops. But we can go ahead and move that into place anyway. I want to make sure that that's lined up. I'm going to drag it up. Make sure I must have clicked on hole accidentally. There we go. So I've dragged it up using the cone above that. Let me go to my front view again and start to drag it over. This blue piece is in the way, so what you might want to do as you're assembling is move some of your extra pieces out of the way so they're not interfering. Then I can go to my front view. It looks pretty close. I can line it up here. I can come back to my home view. And basically, as I'm doing this process, I just need to keep using my view cube to move around and check to see that my puzzle is oriented the way I want it to be. Another technique that you can do is use the arrow keys on your keyboard to shift things around. So if I come back to my home view, I can use the arrow keys to nudge this side to side using the left and right arrows, and I can nudge it front to back using the up and down arrows. So it looks pretty good that way, but it looks like on this cube I still need to move it down some. So for this I can grab my puzzle part. I may want to orbit around a little bit and grab that cone and just use that cone to push that part down into place. It might take a few tries to get it exactly right, but keep at it and you'll get it. The next part on my cube that I need to put in is this black part right here, which sits right here next to this part. I can see that I've got this part in Tinkercad that I had moved out of the way. And for this one, it looks like I need to do a few different rotations. For starters, I want to rotate it so that it is standing up instead of laying down. So I will grab the rotation handle here and drag that around and change this to 90 degrees. And then it looks like I actually need to rotate it all the way around. So instead of sitting like this, it's sitting like this. So I can use a different rotation handle in Tinkercad. This one might be easiest to see from the top view. I can use this rotation view on Tinkercad to turn it all the way around. And I want to rotate this 180 degrees as well. Now that that's rotated correctly, I can come over and drag my part into place. And I'm lining it up side to side this way first. Then I'll go over to my right view and I will looks like the cone is down here on this part right now, but I'm going to push it up into place. I'll come back to my home view, give it a quick check, and that looks good. The final part in my cube is this blue piece, which sits right up here. And for that, I'll drag my blue piece back over here. Looks like I need to do a little rotation on this one as well. So I'm going to rotate this one 90 degrees. Whoops. Let me undo that. Anytime you make a mistake in Tinkercad, it's a great idea to just undo instead of trying to fix it. I'll type in 90 degrees. I'll use the cone to drag it up, and I'll use my mouse to push it over. Let's look at this from the front view. Looks like I need to bring it down and over a little bit. Come back to my front view and move around so that I can see where it is. It looks like it's way too high. Let me move that down, and let me move that over into place. As I'm assembling this in Tinkercad, I keep going to different views that show me different things. One thing you may want to do is also switch to flat view. Flat view will give you a more true representation of whether your parts are actually touching and lined up. Let me come back to my home view, and it looks like I need to nudge that over, so I'm going to select it and use my arrow key to knock it over into place. So now I have my finished assembled puzzle cube in Tinkercad. To turn in your project, all you need to do is come up to the Send To menu, scroll all the way down to the bottom to where you see the section that says Share over IM or Email. Click Invite People, click Generate New Link, and click Copy Link. The link that you just copied is what you will paste into Schoology to turn in this assignment.